Oh god, I do not expect to make this video at all, but nah, we ball. Just a few hours before the making of this video, Digital Extremes had released the developer workshop for the upcoming Dante Unbound update. There are two parts. One is about the still hot Inaros rework, one is the general quality of life changes. For today, we will be focusing on the latter part, specifically Nourish Helminth changes. The changes are simple. I will just provide you a too much, didn't look. Basically, Nourish is the most used subsume and they want to combat this, so the Helminth version is nerfed in response. While I bet many people will just mourn for the good old Nourish being not so good old reliable anymore, but I do understand the changes. Nourish is so overused that it is just haha random warframe with Nourish. It is so generic that I can basically predict that pretty much any meta XYZ frame gotta have one build like this. But what they didn't know is that this nerf somehow benefits a certain frame, a specific case that is only specific to him and the bearer of the infamous Nourish. Rhino that uses Nourish. Why, you may ask. This is my Nourish build. With just 240 power strength, I'm well over 180% viral damage increase, which seems nice but definitely can be more, like so many other Nourish Rhino builds. This motherfucker ain't the OG Nourish user lol, can't be me. But if you think of what Raw actually does, everything suddenly makes sense. Raw is a final damage multiplier that specializes in damage over time, which is heat, electricity, toxin, gas, slash. If you know how they work, except slash, all of them needs the player to mod for it, with its most classic combination being 90% plus 60% elemental damage or 60% plus 60% for gas damage. For secondary, this can be elevated to 165% plus 60% only for heat and electricity though. Do you notice the problem now? Let's say I modded for heat damage for my primary. Using the classic 90-60 combo, I will have a total of 150% heat in my weapon. And now if I add on Nourish at 240 power strength, I will have 150% heat and 180% viral on my weapon. As you can see, the viral percent was higher than my main DOT, which is the heat percentage. What issue will this bring, you may ask? Status procs tends to have a hierarchy. The higher the elemental percent or physical percent it is, the more frequent it procs. Due to this, viral will always be the ones who is prioritized first, and after that, the heat, which is Rhino's main way of maximizing the use of raw. Due to this limitation that over 90 to 95% of the Nourish Rhino builds fails to recognize, Rhino is forced to only able to mod for 200% to 240% strength at max, maximizing the gain of raw while not making Nourish viral percent too annoying to deal with. But with this recent nerf to Nourish, while others may be sad about it being "Oh my god, subsume nerf, goofy art choice now, the reduced effect of the viral percent from 75% to 45% greatly benefits Rhino due to him value elemental weighting far more than any frames in the game and allows us to mod freely for strength, achieving a very high raw percent while keeping Nourish viral percent low enough that it won't be disturbing our DOT procs that much. And so, Rhino, for some forsaken reason, just got indirectly buffed again. Wow, they thought this frame isn't broken enough, okay? Okay? With this in mind, very high strength Rhino is now a correct and viable choice after the update. But I advise to not go over 333 power strength as that is the exact point where Nourish percent reaches the 150% breakpoint. At max, it allows for 400% power strength Rhino, which is exactly what 240% power strength Rhino with Nourish can provide, but with close to twice as strong raw double dip, 4.84x vs 9x for some absolute decimation. After the update, Rhino might be unofficially the best Nourish user now if you exclude Grendel, obviously. With the final obstacle that prevents Nourish being very powerful on Rhino now gone, reduced to atoms. Shall you wait for the renewed Nourish Rhino build by the day of March 27? See you all next time. Goodbye.